The first time Ross fucked me, it was against the kitchen counter, his hands bruising my hips as he shoved my dress past my waist. His mouth bit my shoulder, stifling my moans while he thrust into me. Rough, relentless, no pretense of tenderness. The counter dug into my back as I clawed at his shirt, my legs locked around him. Every snap of his hips a punishment and a plea. He came hard, cursing into my neck, his release hot and reckless. When he pulled away, his eyes burned with shame. My best friend's son, 30 years old, divorced, and I, Crystal, age 55, a housewife with empty nests and emptier vows, stared at the ceiling, knowing I had already burned my life to ashes. Hello, everyone. I am Crystal. Before you judge, let me tell you how it began. Monica had been my closest friend for 20 years. We raised children, shared recipes, and cried over wine in her North Carolina backyard. Her son Ross was a quiet boy who became a broken man after his divorce. When Monica begged me to check on him, I agreed. Ross lived in a dim apartment smelling of old pizza and loneliness. His beard was unkempt, his eyes hollow. We talked about his job loss, his ex-wife's betrayal. I brought him casseroles. He called me the only person who listens. One rainy afternoon, he showed up at my door shaking. He had fought with his mother. I made coffee. He cried. I hugged him. His grip tightened, his breath hot on my neck. When he kissed me, I did not pull away. That night, I stared at my sleeping husband and wondered, how did I become this woman? But Ross returned. Again. To my dear viewers, thank you for being here. If you have not yet subscribed, please hit that button. Your support fuels this channel. Share your thoughts below. Could you forgive someone like me? The guilt did not hit me until the next morning. I woke with a knot in my stomach, my husband's arm draped over me like a weight. I told myself it was a mistake, a moment of weakness. But when Ross texted, "I need to see you," I drove to his apartment without blinking. It became a pattern. Mondays and Thursdays, while my husband golfed and Monica volunteered at the church, Ross would open the door with a smirk, his eyes dark and hungry. We did not speak much. Words felt dangerous. Instead, we clung to each other in the shadows of his cramped living room, our secrets buried under tangled sheets. But secrets grow roots. Monica noticed first. "You seem distracted," she said one afternoon, sipping tea at my kitchen table. Her voice was light, but her gaze sharpened. "Is everything okay with you and David?" I laughed too loudly, spilling my lies like sugar. "Just tired," I said. She did not believe me. Ross, though, began to change. The broken man who once cried in my arms now smiled when I entered the room, his gaze stripping me bare before I crossed the threshold. We did not speak. He pushed me against the wall, his mouth biting my neck as his hands tore my blouse. Our bodies crashed into the couch, then the floor, then the bedroom, a frenzy of skin and hunger. He pinned my wrists, thrusting into me with a roughness that left bruises. I clawed his back, urging him deeper, my cries muffled by the pillow. He came 3 times, once in my mouth, once between my thighs, once inside me, each release louder, more desperate. Afterward, he collapsed beside me, breath ragged, and traced the sweat on my chest. "I think I love you," he murmured, as if the words were torn from his throat. I froze. Love was not part of the deal. Panic surged through me. Love was not part of the deal. Love meant risk. Love meant destruction. I pulled away, dressing quickly as he watched, hurt flickering in his eyes. "This cannot happen again," I said, my voice trembling. He did not argue. That night, Monica called. "Ross is acting strange," she said. "He mentioned you two had a talk." My blood turned cold. "Just giving him advice," I lied. She paused. "Be careful, Crystal. He's fragile." The next day, Ross stood on my porch in the rain, his shirt soaked, his jaw set. "I cannot stop thinking about you," he said. I should have shut the door. Instead, I let him in. As we moved to the couch, my husband's keys jingled in the front door. Ross froze. I shoved him toward the back exit, my heart pounding. David walked in, dripping from the storm, as Ross slipped into the downpour unseen. "Who are you talking to?" David asked, nodding at the 2 wine glasses on the table. "Monica," I said, my voice steady. "She just left." He kissed my forehead, oblivious. But in that moment, I saw the future, a house of cards, trembling. The rain kept falling that week, as if the sky itself wept for what I had done. Every creak of the house made me jump. Every phone notification tightened my chest. David noticed. "You look pale," he said one morning, his hand lingering on mine. I pulled away too quickly. He did not ask again. Monica stopped calling. No more tea dates. No more gossip about the church ladies. When I saw her at the grocery store, she turned down the cereal aisle without a word. Her silence was a blade. Then, on a Thursday, our day, Ross did not answer the door. His apartment was empty. His phone went straight to voicemail. Panic clawed at me. Had he told someone? Had he left? That night, Monica's headlights cut through my kitchen window. She marched up the porch steps, her face a storm. In her hand, she clutched something small and silver. My missing earring. "Found this in Ross' car," she said, her voice shaking. "He said he dropped you off last week, but you told me you had not seen him." Her eyes burned into mine. "You swore you were just helping him." I opened my mouth. No lies came out. She threw the earring at my feet. "How long?" When I did not answer, she laughed, a bitter, broken sound. "All those years, I trusted you with my son." Her tears fell freely now. Was it revenge? Boredom? Or are you just that selfish? I wanted to beg forgiveness, to blame loneliness, or a dying marriage. Instead, I stood frozen, watching 20 years of friendship crumble. Monica left without slamming the door. The quiet was worse. Ross called the next day. "I cannot do this anymore," he said. No goodbye. Just static. David found me crying in the bathtub that night. "Is it us?" he asked, his voice gentle. I nodded, letting him think the tears were for him. But the truth? I missed Ross. The guilt disgusted me, but I missed his hands, his laugh, the way he made me feel seen. Now, even that was gone. By Sunday, the whole town knew. Whispers trailed me at the gas station. Church ladies clutched their pearls as I passed. Monica's absence at the pew screamed louder than any sermon. I drove to Ross' apartment one last time. His keys were under the mat. Inside, the walls were bare. A note on the fridge read, "Gone to Charlotte. Do not follow." That night, I dreamt of Monica's face, the betrayal, the rage. When I woke, David's side of the bed was empty. He sat at the kitchen table, my phone in his hand. "Who is Ross?" he asked, his voice cold. The screen glowed with a text I had forgotten to delete. "I miss you. Please call me." David's hands shook as he held my phone. The kitchen clock ticked louder than ever. I opened my mouth to lie, to beg, to say anything. But the truth had already won. He moved out that night. No shouting. No tears. Just silence as he packed his suitcase, his wedding ring left on the counter like a relic. I watched from the window as his car disappeared down the wet road. The house felt hollow, echoing with every step. The town wasted no time. By Monday, the rumors were wildfire. Women at the pharmacy glared as I passed. Old friends crossed the street to avoid me. At the grocery store, a teenager snapped a photo, her laugh sharp as she typed a caption. I left my cart full of milk and bread in the aisle and fled. Monica's name lit up my phone once. I answered, desperate. I want to explain. Explain? She cut in, her voice ice. You took my son. You took my trust. Now live with it. The call ended. I stared at her contact photo, us smiling at a pumpkin patch, years ago, until the screen went black. Ross did not answer my texts. His number went dead. I drove to Charlotte, following a hunch, and found him at a dim bar with a woman half my age. Her hair was blonde, her laugh too loud. He saw me, his face hardening. Go home, Crystal. You said you loved me, I whispered. He leaned close, his breath smelling of beer and indifference. I love the escape. Not you. The drive back to North Carolina blurred with rain and rage. I pulled over twice to vomit. At home, a letter waited. Monica's handwriting. Inside, a single sentence. You are dead to me. I crawled into bed, the weight of my choices crushing me. David filed for divorce. My children stopped calling. Even the mailman avoided eye contact. One morning, I found Monica's house empty. A for sale sign stabbed into the lawn. Neighbors said she moved to Arizona. No goodbye. No note. I sat on my porch that night, a glass of wine in hand, the stars cold and distant. The town slept. I did not. The echoes of my mistakes played on loop. Ross' final words haunted me. Not you. The silence became my only companion. David's divorce papers arrived in a crisp, white envelope. I signed them without reading. What was the point? The house echoed with memories, Monica's laughter over wine, Ross' hurried footsteps up the stairs, David's steady voice humming in the garage. Now, only the hum of the refrigerator answered me. I tried to write to Monica. 5 drafts crumpled in the trash. I am sorry felt too small. I miss you felt like a lie. In the end, I mailed nothing. Her house sold quickly, the new owners painting the walls a cheerful yellow as if to scrub away the past. I stood across the street once, watching them carry boxes. The woman waved at me. I turned away. Ross' social media showed him in Charlotte, his arm around the blonde from the bar. He looked happy, or at least unburdened. I wondered if he ever thought of me, or if I was just a scar he had learned to hide. My children called once. My daughter's voice was flat. How could you, Mom? She asked. I had no answer. They changed their numbers after that. The grocery store became a battleground. Eyes followed me. Voices dropped to whispers. One day, a young mother pulled her child close as I passed. I stopped buying groceries. I joined a church group, desperate to find forgiveness. The women smiled tightly, their prayers stiff. When I confessed my sins aloud, the room fell silent. The leader patted my hand. God forgives, she said. But her eyes said, we do not. Winter came. The cold seeped into the house, into my bones. I slept on the couch, the bedroom too full of ghosts. One morning, I found a stray cat on the porch. I fed it, but it would not come inside. Monica's final letter stayed framed on the mantel. You are dead to me. Some nights, I traced the words, wondering if grief ever softened for her. The lesson is this: betrayal is a fire. It burns bright and hot. But long after the flames die, the scars remain. Ugly, unforgiving, permanent. To everyone watching, thank you for walking this painful journey with me. If this story moved you, please leave a comment below. Share your thoughts. Let me know, could forgiveness ever exist for someone like me? Do not forget to like this video, share it with others, and subscribe to the channel. Your support keeps these truths alive. Goodbye for now. This concludes Crystal's story. Thank you for watching.